In our society, we often value talent over discipline. So many people have great dreams, but yet they feel that they can never get to their goals. As a classical violinist, corporate speaker, and stand-up comedian, discipline is the only talent that I know. Today, I would like to show you how you can grow the incredible talent of discipline. Before this, let me introduce myself with a few jokes. And since we have a small group of people, if you hear something funny, you can laugh. As a violinist, I usually charge about $25,000 per concert. But today, I would like to play something that you guys can all afford. Thank you. Thank you. You guys have taste. I'm gonna play a second concert. Voila. Thank you. Comedians, they don't like me because I don't curse. Today, I'm not going to use the F word. Instead of the F word, I'm going to use the F chord. Yes. As you can hear, I was born and raised in France, but my parents come from another romantic country, Iran. See, that's the thing in America, especially right now. People have the wrong idea about Iran. So I wrote a beautiful piece of music. It went viral online. It's called the American Iranian Concerto. I hope you enjoy. There you go. Yeah. And if you want to download this music, it's on CNN. It's been 20 years since I moved to America. And where I come from in France, the school system was very, very difficult. It was strict. I really felt that I had no talent, no discipline, and no future. I'll give you an example. In America, in many schools, if a child's average grade is D, they still send him to the next grade. While in France, if a child's average grade is D, we send him to America. That's why I'm here. On top of that, in my childhood, I was experiencing racism in France because of the way I looked. And then I moved to Texas, and you guys accepted me. You accepted me as a Mexican, but mi familia. When I arrived here, I started to teach the classical violin, and I thought I was the best teacher in the world because I was from the great French conservatory. One day, I saw a 6-year-old performer. She was playing a Vivaldi concerto that I learned when I was like 11. But the way she was playing it, the maturity, I was blown away. So I went to the mother and I asked them where they were studying. And they were studying the Suzuki method. The Suzuki method was originated in Japan right after World War II, and the founder was Shinichi Suzuki. Shinichi Suzuki believed that talent was not an accident of birth. He taught these students, and he made them all great on such a difficult instrument. He toured the world and amazed everybody with his prodigies. Suzuki talks about the aha moment, the moment when you understand his message. Basically, the moment when you go, I was so fascinated by it, I had to go to Japan, and there I noticed something, that Japanese people are the opposite of French people. Like they do this thing unheard of in France, they work. Like Japanese people work all the time. Like, do we have any Japanese people today? See, now they're all working. When I arrived in Japan, I understood what learning really is. In the Suzuki method, learning is not just getting new knowledges. In the Suzuki method, learning is polishing something you already know how to do. It's becoming a master at something. In the Suzuki method, learning is something you can never forget. Shinichi Suzuki will have his students repeat every piece they've learned from the very first day until the present, and they will review them until it became a part of their being, just like eating or sleeping. After that, I took hundreds of hours of trainings in the Suzuki method, and when I came back to the US, I had my school, and I applied all these techniques, and in just a few years, we had now 500 students. My private students were winning competitions in different states, and at the age of 27, I had achieved the American dream. And I remember thinking that maybe all these great, successful, talented people were just incredible learners. But after that, I started traveling and I had no more goals because I achieved what I wanted to do. So I needed a new challenge. I realized that in life, the worst thing is to be comfortable. Because if you think about it, we never forget our traumas. We don't remember every good time, but the trauma is what makes you who you are. I needed a challenge, so I went on Google and I searched for the worst possible jobs. And one of them was stand-up comedy. And I thought to myself, well, I've never done comedy, and English is not even my first language. That sounds like a terrible idea. Let's do it. As soon as I arrived in Hollywood, when I saw all these crushed dreams, all these talents being rejected every single day, I knew I was at home. I was looking for failures. I wanted to learn from failures, and that's when I started to hang out with my comedian friends. I'm kidding. I would never hang out with those losers. I love being in Hollywood because over there, just like in music, you're either a talented comedian or not. Since I had no talent of comedy, I decided to apply all the things I learned in the Suzuki method to review what I already knew. So I went to take stand-up comedy classes. If the joke was not working in French, Spanish, English, and even Farsi, I will not keep the joke. If the joke was not working anywhere in the world at any time, I will not keep the joke. It had to be perfect, just like a concerto. The Suzuki method was working so well that a few years later, I taped my first comedy special, The Maestro of Comedy. I started touring the country, and after that, I just remember thinking about talent was just a huge waste of my time. During that time, I also met my wife, and together we had 2 kids. And Dr. Suzuki talks about being in the right environment. And it's important to be with the right person. And I love my wife. I trust my wife. My wife has my cell phone password because I have a second phone. She's from Mexico, and I'm from France. So we wanted our kids to speak the 3 languages, English, Spanish, and French. Again, I was going to experiment the Suzuki method. I was going to repeat every single word in 3 languages until they can never forget. I give you an example. The word parking, in French we say le parking, in Spanish is el estacionamiento, and in Los Angeles where we live, there is no parking. So we don't teach that word. It was last year where my son was at his school talent show, and at 6 years old he played that exact same Vivaldi concerto I heard 20 years ago. Everybody was amazed. The teacher came to me. They say, he speaks 3 languages. He plays 2 instruments. He's so talented. I smiled because I knew that his only talent was discipline. And I even asked my son the other day, I said, do you prefer violin or comedy? And he said comedy. And I was like, because it's funny, right? And he said, no, because I don't want to practice. Suzuki showed me that with the right environment, with the right way of learning and repetition, anything is achievable in life. Suzuki used to say that tomorrow is too late. If you have a dream, don't wait for tomorrow. Start today, maybe after this talk. If you can do this first step, you will show to yourself that you can maybe do step 2, step 3, and then review and go back to step 1 to become a master at what you want to achieve. Suzuki also used to say that we should only practice on the days we eat. So for the people who feel lazy sometimes, please know that when we say we don't want to do something, what we actually mean is we put a higher priority on something else. And most of the time, this higher priority is not that important. If you're not scared to fail, and if you understood what learning is, then you can all achieve the incredible talent of discipline. So I would like to end by wishing you an incredible life concerto. Thank you so much.